Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name and is also super tiny. This week's episode of Fionna Cake not only revealed something very interesting about the way television is made in their universe, but also showed us a glimpse into Huntress Wizard's extremely tragic backstory for the first time. We've got a ton to talk about regarding Huntress's past, theories about what it could mean for her future, plus tons of Easter eggs and details you might have missed. You're watching WhitneyVision, and this is our breakdown of the cat who tipped the box. This is your spoiler warning! If you haven't watched Season 2, Episode 4 of Fionna Cake yet, hit pause on this video and come back once you've covered your buns. This week's episode opens on a wooden chest lid, featuring a carved drawing of Fiona riding Cake, while Spirit Dream Warrior narrates the story of Huntress's childhood. After years of longing for a child of their own, a huntsman and his wife adopted baby Huntress and raised her. The huntsman found her using her tendrils to suck the nutrients out of a dead rabbit, and after tempting her with more snacks, brought her home. Despite the fact that she didn't look or behave entirely like a human, the couple loved her dearly. Her father taught her to hunt, and her mother's cooking led her to discover that she had the ability to open her mouth. I really love the symbolism of that. Despite the fact that no one in the family speaks during these scenes, it's implied that Huntress's mom inspired her to find her voice. Both of her parents instilled strength, tenderness, and humanity into their feral little plant daughter, and during her early years, it's clear that she was loved and cared for. Unfortunately, like I predicted in my episode 2 breakdown, Huntress's origin story isn't a happy one. Her parents are killed when their cabin catches fire during a storm, and Huntress is forced to bury them, adorning their graves with the items they loved most. She leaves their bodies in the remnants of the home they once shared, presumably to find the spirit of the forest and begin her path to green wizardry. There's a lot to unpack from this opening scene, namely that we finally understand what drove Huntress to the madness and sadness of magic at such a young, vulnerable age. We know that she wasn't seeking green wizardry for the community aspect of joining a coven. She was using her training to outrun the pain of losing her family. Grief is complicated, and it's even more complicated to navigate as a kid without any trusted adults around to help you figure things out. From her parents' deaths, she learned to fear loss above all else. It's no wonder that she didn't want to get too close to Finn or even her fellow green wizards. Huntress would rather live a life of solitude and monk-like devotion to her craft than ever experience that kind of heartbreak again. I think she really blames herself for what happened. If she hadn't been there, her dad wouldn't have prioritized getting her out safely, and maybe he could have saved her mom and himself instead. Of course, I don't think that Huntress realizes that both of her parents would have wanted her to survive more than anything, even if it meant losing their own lives. Any parent would tell you that they'd gladly sacrifice themselves to the flames if it meant that their kid would survive to live a long, happy life. But no one was around anymore to tell Huntress that, and so she went inward, deepening her madness and sadness and developing tunnel vision for magic. One of the most interesting and less depressing aspects of Huntress's origin story is that she's not actually a human at all. Obviously, we always knew she was part plant, but I personally didn't realize that she was fully flora. But it turns out that our baby girl is yet another product of the Mushroom War's devastation. Although they don't explicitly say so in the episode, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Huntress Wizard is the result of radioactivity bringing plant matter to life and giving it sentience. Kinda like how Princess Bubblegum was born from the mother gum that spawned after the bombs went off. After this super sad flashback intro, we head to modern-day Fiona World, where Gary, Marshall, and Ellis are shopping for baking supplies at Vague's Supermarket, a parody of Vaughn's. The store itself is more like a Costco or a Sam's Club, though, because the regular grocery store doesn't give out free samples like that. Does this mean that a version of the Costco guys exist in Fiona World? In the parking lot, you'll see fun license plates like Life Lol, I Like You, No Heck, and Oh Heck Yeah. Gary buys Pendragon organic flour for the bake sale fundraiser, named after King Arthur's dad's epithet, Pendragon. As Marshall hangs up on his mom, check out the shelf behind him. You can see Hannah's creepy spy lurking behind the boxes of chips. Hungover Fiona heads off to find DJ Flame and finds herself haunted by the memories of all the places they used to hang out together, including his now destroyed apartment, the Sonic Yum record store where she used to work, and the carnival where she got fired for giving out too many prizes. A fun fact about my lore is that my first job in high school was at Haagen-Dazs, and I got fired for giving out too many free samples. I didn't even know that there was a limit on free samples because I thought they were free. So Fiona, I feel you, dude. Reject capitalism, embrace whimsy! At the entrance to the carnival, we spot another gumball machine that looks like a Gumball Guardian, and one of the prizes at this game stand looks exactly like Winnie the Pooh themed Hambo. We also see a giant bear plush in another prize stand. The Fiona World version of Cotton Candy Princess is working the cotton candy stall, a likely place for her to be, and the Lards variant is working at the apple stall. Starchy is on the run from Boardwalk Management for breaking the Ferris wheel, which is is why it's currently closed. Good! Then DJ Flame can't take Fennel on the exact same repeat date that he used to take Fiona on. Listen man, I know there are only so many dates available to plan in a small town, but Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo didn't go quadruple platinum in sales for no reason. I bet Fennel knows Hand of Glory because he played her Graveyard Girl, or whatever that band's equivalent of Billy Joel's Uptown Girl is. Back at Fiona's apartment, Huntress grows bigger and stronger by slaying the various critters that have taken residence in her messy abode. She even skins a mouse and uses its furry flesh to make herself a terrifying little cape. Obviously, Fiona forgets all about her meeting with the parks department because she's too busy making sure that this barbaric little cutie doesn't accidentally unalive herself. Huntress is way too stubborn to just give in and let Fiona help her, which is why she ends up running around the grocery store in her birthday suit. This supermarket is called Matafar, which means grocery store in Swedish. If you recall, parts of U are thought to have once been part of Scandinavia, Germany, and other European countries prior to the Mushroom War. While Fiona talks to her former boss, the Fiona World variant of Breakfast Princess, you can spot a poster of Betty using Magic Man's hat as a cornucopia in the background. Luckily, Huntress's naked romp served a purpose. After leveling up with some ham, Huntress spots a beet rolling across the floor and remembers Spirit Warrior's advice to follow the beet to the roots. She realizes that she needs to find her way back to the heart of the forest in order to return home, and races off towards the park to find Fiona World's version of it. Meanwhile, Cake is finding her own ways to raise money for the sweet spot. She books a guest spot on Cheers and heads down to the studio, which looks a lot like the IRL WB lot. The talent coordinator of Cheers, GF, is the Fiona World version of Gridface Princess. It turns out that the set and the cast of Cheers are super tiny, and they only want Cake to appear on the show because of her stretching abilities. But this isn't the first time we've seen someone play recklessly with tiny guys. Back in Season 5's All the Little People, Finn gets a hold of a bunch of miniature copies of all the Adventure Time characters and ruins their lives by forcing them to get with new partners. We also see a ton of cameos in the live studio audience. I think this guy in the hoodie is supposed to be Pineapple Guy. Then there's Little Destiny, the Ice Clops, and Flame Minstrel. The woman with the tall hair is the Dancing Pincer Beetle. And we've got a few Banana Guards watching as well. Over here, we see the Fiona World version of Zergiak the Goblin King, as well as Wildberry Princess, Lady Ron James, and this girl in a diamond shirt that I believe to be Flame Princess's little brother. I'm not sure who this lady is with Lemon Grab's nose though. I feel like the answer is right in front of my face, but I'm having trouble naming her. Let me know if you know who she is in the comments below. I'm also not 100% sure who this guy in the beanie is, but the pattern on his sweatshirt makes me think he's likely one of the rock people. This bald woman reminds me a lot of Gumdrop Lass, and this person looks like the Fiona World version of a glass person. Then there's Lemon Hope and this normal lady who looks a lot like Ricardio's human form from The Star. Working the production are the director Liz, aka Lizard Princess, producer Crab Princess, and clapboard assistant Hot Dog Princess. Unfortunately, Cake goes full cat mode on the cast of Cheers and is booed out of the studio, which is actually perfect timing because Fiona really needs her help chasing down Huntress Wizard in the park, where we see the human version of Tree Trunks' variant, Tail Tufts. Huntress refuses to allow Fiona to help her, so Fee calls Simon to ask him what to do. Back in U, Simon, PB, Marceline, and the rest of the princesses have been gathering their gems to plug into the Enchiridion. Peebs uses a laser to break the Enchiridion, opening a portal that will take the gang to Prismo's time cube, similar to what happened during the events of Season 4's The Lich episode. But when they ask Prismo to use his wish magic to cure Finn, Prismo admits that he's lost the magic ability to grant wishes. It turns out that all of that glitching really has been affecting his magic, so let me know in the comments if you have any theories about why these glitches keep happening. Without Prismo's powers, Simon decides to fly over to the Ice Kingdom on PB's bird, the Morrow, to ask the Ice Thing if he can borrow the demonic wishing eye to save Finn. Despite the fact that we've seen the Ice King wear it as a necklace in multiple Adventure Time episodes, its full powers have yet to be revealed. So far, we know that it can be used to create an army of extremely powerful doppelgangers, but we've never seen it used to cure someone before. We do know that these amulets aren't super rare, however. They can be purchased by anyone in Wizard City. At Finn's bedside, we spot a few new princesses that weren't there in the last episode, like Bandit Princess, Bee Princess, Lizard Princess, Old Lady Princess, Princess Zip, and Gridface Princess. When Fiona hands Huntress the phone to talk to Simon, PB angrily demands that she tell them exactly what poisoned Finn. but Huntress refuses. And that's kind of the problem with wizards. They're so exclusionary that they'd never consider allowing another magical being in one of their plans, even if that other person could help them significantly. She angrily breaks Fiona's phone, overexerts herself, and passes out, murmuring that she needs to follow the faint heartbeat of Fiona World. It's clear that Huntress is going to have to learn how to trust Finn's other friends, not only because his survival depends on it, but because hers does too. And while it sucks a lot to have to start over as a baby sproutling, it's also an opportunity for Huntress to reprogram the way she thinks about love and openness. Going forward, I think we're gonna have to see her find out the hard way that her single-mindedness is actually reckless and self-serving. On the street, you can spot the Fiona World version of Wyatt just before Hunter calls Fiona. This guy with the green spiky hair might be one of the hooligans who love candles from Season 5's Blade of Grass, and the cyclist is likely Billy's girlfriend Canyon, who also loves biking. These red and blue guys are Fiona World gnomes, first seen in Season 1's The Enchiridion. Although Fiona is able to set a time with Felix to talk about marketing for the Sweet Spot, she completely drops the ball on securing a venue for the fundraiser through the Parks Department. Hunter is super disappointed with her, and I would be too. You're not gonna need any of DJ Flame's marketing for a fundraiser that can't exist because you don't have a location. I know that Fiona is already beating herself up for screwing over her friends, and I don't want to kick her while she's down. But girl, come on. You're throwing away all of your friends' hard work, time, and energy down the toilet for a guy who's already taken. Maybe it's time to focus a little less on a DJ with a girlfriend who dumped you via text message and more on paying your rent. These are just some of the details that I noticed in The Cat Who Tipped the Box, but I want to know if there's anything I missed in the comments. I'm Scarlet Wit, and you're watching WhitneyVision.